Gehart, and I have worked over the years with hundreds of new professionals trying to pass licensing exams. And when they come to me, there's typically one of three things that's not going right for them. First is they don't know content, and actually that's the least common problem I see. The second is they're just really bad at multiple choice test taking, and so they need to develop that skills. That's also fairly less common. The thing I see the most is that there's test anxiety. And what happens with test anxiety is when it comes down to sitting down and taking the test, they just can't recall everything that they've studied. And so in this video, I want to share with you my ultimate favorite test-taking hack that has worked for hundreds of people that I have worked with who have come to get mentoring from me when they can't pass those high-stakes exams like licensing exams. This same principle works for comprehensive exams, finals, midterms, anytime you've got to memorize a whole bunch of information. So the thing to and this is all based on our basic neurology and how our brain works and how it remembers things. So, and a really kind of abbreviated version of our brain here, we have the prefrontal cortex, and that's where any content knowledge is going in here, right? As well as executive functioning, language, all that good stuff. And then we have the stress response, the fight, flight, freeze response. And that stress response is not designed to deal with any verbal information. It is designed to fight a bear, run from a bear, or freeze, and it's pretty much put you into a panic state. So obviously, if you're taking a test and your brain goes into the panic state with the limbic system, you're not going to remember much of anything that you put into your prefrontal cortex because the brain actually turns off functioning blood flow, electricity, firing in this part of the brain so that your limbic system takes over because it's so much faster than this really slow prefrontal cortex. It's going to sit there and deliberate. I don't know, what's the best exit strategy here? If your brain, the humans who approach bears in that manner and other predators, they didn't live long. So their brain gets hijacked by this limbic system and this goes offline. So if you're trying to take a licensing exam and you get nervous and you flip your lid, so to speak, you aren't going to remember half the things that you studied. And so this kind of exam hack is to help you keep your smart part on. And it works in two ways. The basic thing you're going to do is you're going to do mindfulness meditation. There, you can check out my website. I got lots of different videos on that. Do 5 minutes of mindfulness, 5 to 10 minutes, I would say, of mindfulness meditation. But every time you study, before you study, every single time, 5 to 10 minutes, focus on your breath, quiet your thoughts. And that form of just quieting your mind and using your breath, because you're not allowed to take too many things into a licensing exam situation, but they do let you take your breath in, so you're good with that to focus on that. And then when you sit down to take the licensing exam, you're going to do the exact same thing. And you are going to put you're going to do mindfulness before you take your exam, and that is going to help you keep your smart part on. This actually works in two ways, so it really, really works well for the brain. The first thing is, obviously, if you put your smart part on, do your mindfulness, focus, you get your prefrontal cortex firing optimally for when you're studying, taking in all the information. Your studying should just go faster. It should be easier to focus, easier to remember. And also when you're taking your test, if you can keep your smart part on, you can focus more and you can retrieve the information you put in there when you were studying. Another thing also happens because our brain's memory functions are very much state dependent. And so if your brain is in a mindful state when you are studying and thinking about the licensing exam, and then you put your brain into that same state when you take your exam, your ability to recall is going to be much better. And so if you think of just like your favorite place you like to go vacation, if I ask you about, all details about it right now, you might have some general memories of it. But as soon as you go back to that favorite place, a whole bunch of new memories. Oh, I remember we got dinner and I ate this there. Oh, I remember when I did that there. Oh, yes, I remember this road. So when you're far away from that situation and not in that same vacationing state, you aren't going to remember all those details as when we plop you back there, and you're going to have a lot more detailed memories come back. Same thing works for studying for your licensing exams or high stakes exams, so may as well use it. So this mindfulness, it just adds a little bit to your beginning of your study time, but it keeps your brain in the proper state to retain and be able to retrieve the information when you need it when you sit down for that exam. And I have used this with hundreds of people, many of whom have failed the exams more than once, and this really worked for them. So I encourage you to give it a try and let me know how it goes. And if you enjoyed this and learning about things like this and you find such things helpful, I also invite you to go check out my website, dianegehart.com, and I am launching 2 new mentoring programs because so many people have come to me over the years trying to get one-on-one mentoring. And so it's certainly more economical to do it as a group. And because even though we all get supervision at our field sites and we learn how to work with our individual clients, most of us don't get any real mentoring in terms of what direction are we taking our career, what are the different ways to make money in this field? How do I really become great at what I do as soon as possible? And that level of career mentoring is really rare to come by. So if you're interested in something like that, please check out my website, dianegehart.com, and I have several different options, and hopefully you'll find one that's right for you. So good luck on those tests, and I hope to see you soon.